Okay, y'all. Love After Lockup is back, season 3, and we are ready for the circus. Okay, so the first episode of season 3 was basically just like introduction of everybody and their whole little background story. So there wasn't that much drama. So first we have Scott, 51, and Lindsay, 21 years old. 30-year age difference. They met on a prison dating website. And what was she in prison for? She was in prison for selling crystal meth and running from the police. They both said they're in love with each other. And he has spent between $15,000 to $20,000 on this woman in the 2 years that they've been dating. Now, I think there's a certain psychology in people who go to dating websites that are geared towards inmates. You know, and I wish somebody would do or reveal a study on what makes a person purposely go on a dating website that is strictly for prisoners and inmates to meet people on the outside. There's a whole psychology thing going on there, and I'm really interested in knowing what that is. I wonder if it's the need to feel needed, or the belief that, oh, you're in prison, and because I'm going to help you get through that, and once you come out, you're not going to leave me. Maybe it's that whole fear of being abandoned or broken up with, or I don't know. I need to know the psychology of people who go to prison websites to look for love. Now, when it starts off, he has an interior decorator, I guess that's what she is, come pay him a visit because she's going to, I thought it was a social worker before I knew what was going on. But she's an interior decorator, and she's going to, I guess, renovate his home because Miss Lindsay is about to come out of prison, and she has specific requirements of what she wants the home to look like, I guess, because from prison she's been sending him magazine cutouts of what kind of bathroom she wants, and I guess all the kind of furniture that she wants. So that's really interesting. Well, now when the interior decorator asked him, okay, so what's our budget? He says from $1 to $1 million. I was like, okay, sugar daddy. So that's what's going on here. Scott, I need to know what's happening with your upper lip. Were you injured? What's happening here, Scott? I'm really curious to know what's happening here. So that's Scott and Lindsay. Lindsay is a young tenderoni. She's young, she's cute. It's obvious why he's attracted to her. I just want to know what's going on. I don't even want to... Look, y'all, I can't play games. I cannot play games. I gotta be real. She wants a sugar daddy. She was in prison. She was looking for a sugar daddy. The older single men are more willing to part with their money for a young tenderoni, even though she's in prison. It doesn't make any difference. And I think they feel like, well, because I'm going to this is a way to control her. So I'm going to put all this money on her. And then when she comes out of prison, because I did all this for her when she was behind bars, now she's, indebted to me. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But of course, I don't believe that Lindsay's really in love with this man. No, I don't believe that for a second. Let's move on. Next, we have Maurice, 27, and Jessica, 33, from Las Vegas. They met on Plenty of Fish. While he was in prison. Okay. So I had done a video previously about federal executions, and I had talked about briefly in that video how it seems like people in prison are living pretty well. Like, prison is far from punishment compared to what prisons are like in other parts of the world. The prisons here in America. They have access to Plenty of Fish, y'all. They can hook up with people on Plenty of Fish. So she said she met him on Plenty of Fish, and that, she was really attracted to his photos until she came across the photos where he was posing in a prison uniform. But that did not deter her. That kept her going. That would have deterred me. That would have deterred me. But this probably made him even more attractive to her. So he was in prison for 7 years for first degree burglary. They've been dating for 4 years, and they actually got married while he was in prison. He's from Compton. He was in a gang. He has a 9-year-old daughter. There's a lot going on here. So this is going to be an interesting season. What do I have to say about more? Her family is not for this. They don't encourage this at all. Her parents made it, they're like, we don't support this. We don't want this. We want it better for our kids. We wanted our kids to marry people better than us. But, this is what you're dealing with, mom and dad. Her sister completely cut her off 4 years ago. She hasn't spoken to her sister in 4 years. Her and her sister live close by each other, but they don't speak at all. She said that her sister basically disowned her when she was dating this prisoner because her sister told her, I don't want a prisoner or an ex-felon or an ex-con around my kids. I don't want that around my children. So in her segment on the show, she drives by her sister's house, I guess to show, the proximity of where her house and her sister's house are. And so she's on her sister's street, and while they're sitting out there, her and the producer, the sister comes out, and she quickly puts on her shades, and then she zooms off. And the producer was like, wow, you're actually scared. I don't know why she was so scared. I don't know what she thought her sister was going to do, but yeah, that's interesting. So her sister completely disowned her because she's in this relationship with this ex-con, soon to be ex-con. Okay, then we have Christiana and John. Christiana, 35. John is 46. Now, the interesting about Christiana and John is that John himself served 12 years in prison for check fraud. So he's also an ex-con. So maybe this relationship might have a better success story because of the fact they have similar backgrounds, and what she's going to be going through is what he has been through, coming out of prison, so on and so forth, starting your life over again once you're released. And so maybe he'll be a good support system for her because he's been through it himself, and he's not going to be one of those people that as soon as the person comes out of prison, they're all like, well, you need to get a job. Okay, you need to get a job. And it's like, okay, they just came out of prison. They have a record. What the hell are you talking about? Give it time. Be patient. So maybe he will have the patience that's needed to deal with someone who's trying to start their lives over again after being released. Now, John has been married 4 times, engaged twice, and he has 8 children. And out of his 8 children, 2 of them still live with him. So John has a lot going on. You would wonder, with 8 kids and with 2 of them still living with you, how, and all of these ex-wives, how do you have the time to meet someone and cultivate a relationship with someone who's in prison? How? He's only 46. So I don't think all of his kids are adults. So, and he's half Native American. And he said that even though he's half Native American, he's very much engrossed in his Native culture. He's more into that than his non-Native culture. So that's going to be interesting to learn a lot of stuff about Native Americans. I'm looking forward to that. Then we have Quaylon, 29, and I think it's Chevelle. She's 31. Now, he's been in prison for 12 years. He's been actually in prison. He served every bit of his 12-year sentence, and he's about to be released. Chevelle has a 5-year-old daughter. The biological father of the daughter is not in her daughter's life, and she believes that she cannot raise this child without a husband. Your morals kicked in at a really strange time, Chevelle. They kicked in when you fell in love with a prisoner. Now, let me tell y'all this. I don't want to sound judgmental with people who have served time in jail, served time in prison. Well, prison, not jail, but prison. I don't want to be judgmental. And this show, I don't think by any means is a representation of what really goes on in the real world. I totally believe there's probably more people who have come out of prison and really did make a turn for the better and were productive, law abiding citizens, because I don't think the average person wants to go back to prison. So I don't think that once you serve time, then that's it for you. We should all shun you. No, you need to come out, serve your time, come out, and society needs to give you that opportunity to restart your life, to rebuild your life. We need to give them jobs. We need to, they should be allowed to date and all of that, and find love and get married and have kids and, the house and the picket fence and all of that. Everybody deserves that. Absolutely. Everybody deserves that. But I think the people who have young children should be very, very, very cautious, period, with whoever they're dating, whether they're dating a person who's an ex-con or not. So whenever I see that, because I always feel like a lot of the times these people don't know how to have healthy relationships. And then you add on top of that someone who's trying to get adjusted to life on the outside, who's also trying to get adjusted with co-parenting with you. Because I think with Chevelle and Quaylon, I think that they're going to have like a real relationship. It's not just going to be, I'll see you every other weekend. It's going to be a full-blown relationship. And so now he has to adjust to finding himself again after 12 years in prison. And at the same time, he has to co-parent your daughter. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. That is a whole lot. So her family is not there for it. They don't really care for her having this relationship with Quaylon. And the time that he's been in prison, she's forked out $5,000 to him or for him. How much is in your daughter's college fund, sweetheart? Now, he's about to be released, and she's excited about picking him up from prison. And then he calls her and tells her, well, on your way to pick me up, can you stop by Texas? She lives in Kansas, I think. Can you stop by Texas and pick up my mom? And so she's kind of, hesitant about that, because she said that his mother is a very opinionated, outspoken woman. So that's going to be very interesting. Then we have Destiny and Sean. I'm a little bit lackluster, y'all, because not much happened here. But okay, so we have Destiny and Sean. Destiny's 28. Sean is 45. She was in prison for 2 years for stolen property, escape, and drug possession. Sean has 6 kids, and they showed a picture of his 6 kids. They're all small. They're little kids. And he has these 6 kids with this on-again, off-again baby mama that he's been with an on-again, off-again relationship for 22 years. So that's interesting. When I was single, I used to have a rule that I abide by. I cannot date a man who had small children, because if there's small children involved, and especially if he's a good dad and he's involved with his kids, then you, him, the kids, and the kids' mom are all in a relationship now. And I just didn't want to deal with that. So, I just didn't. I wouldn't date a man with small kids, because now you're in a relationship with the kid's mom as well, because they're little. And so they're either living with the mom, or they're co-parenting really, really well, where the kids are kind of split between them. And you and the kid's mom have to coexist now. Seriously, coexist. So that's going to be interesting to see how the mother of his 6 kids, how is she going to, coexist with Destiny. Anything else about them? Oh, okay. So Destiny is about to come out, but he's going to bond her out. So she has a $50,000 bond. Of course, he has to put down $5,000. And the bondsman already told him when he went to go meet with the bondsman to kind of get some information about, her release. The bondsman looked up her history and said she's a flight risk. That's why her bond is $50,000. She's a flight risk. And if she takes out on you, you owe the whole entire $50,000. So just to get her out is going to be 5,000, and then of course she has to do all that she has to do. And she's been in and out of jail since she was 14 years old. His friends think that he's being catfished because the picture that she sent him was, really attractive girl, which I think it's her. I have no reason to believe that it's not her, but his friends think that he's being catfished. And I think there was some talk about how she had not sent recent pictures because she's gained a little weight and she doesn't want him to see her because she's gained some weight. So I don't know. Maybe that is a catfish situation. Then we have Christiana and John. Oh, we talked about Christiana and John. Sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit out of it. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah. So that's Love After Lockup. Not much going on there. Yeah, that's it. So I'll be back with episode 2. Bye.